right, folks, how are we doing? How are we doing? This is the Doug Rice Show live on YouTube exclusively. This is a test of the emergency Negro broadcasting system. And I am the Negro about to bring you the news. No, it is me. You can't lose. All right, folks, this is a first for me, the Doug Rice Show. I've just hit over 1,800 followers, subscribers. I do not have followers. Only God and Yeshua have followers. I do not. But I'm going to sit on this live for as long as I can survive, and believe me, I got a lot. No. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock in the evening on the 12th of November, 2023. My name is Doug Rice. This is the Doug Rice Show. This is the first for me. Usually I go through a service called Restream. Restream is what puts my show out to the masses on 5 different platforms all at once, and it does include YouTube. It includes Facebook. It includes Twitch. It includes Discord, and it includes X. Not that X. It did Twitter, formerly Twitter. Again, this is Doug Rice. Thanks for showing up. I am brought to you by Twidware. Twidware, and the reason I don't have a Twidware shirt on is because they're very, very heavy pieces of cloth that will make me sheen and shine and froth. I will not look very relaxed. In fact, I will look slightly taxed. So I choose not to go on live on this test show with Twidware on, but I encourage you to go to twidware.com, because if you use the promo code TDRS, which stands for the Doug Rice Show, you will receive 10% off any purchase. And I got to tell you that he's got out a new skincare product line coming out that is fabulous. It's supposed to be specifically designed for Negroes like you and I. And again, thank you so much. My name's Doug Rice, here on the Doug Rice Show. A little bit of background about me while I let you know. I have been 35 years in the telemarketing business, in the field of running my mouth. And so the proclivity to hold a conversation of that, I have no doubt. I can do that all day, every day, and we're going to test to see if it is that way. It's going to go beyond just doing hour and a half shows. I have surmised, along with the team that was being put together right before my eyes, in a dream. They have with me determined that there's nothing that stops the Doug Rice Show from being an actual show that's on throughout the day, talking to various Negroes, various people that may not be Negroes, maybe having folks on, occasionally doing a spot now and again, one thing or another, maybe a little Twidware gear, a little bit of Twid pack, it might be just that, what you need. And I'll also pay attention to your mental feed. Yes, I have PDFs. Now, I say non-discriminate PDF files. And let me tell you why it should bring you smiles. No, the PDFs that I have are rare. They're very hard to find. Most folks aren't even looking for them. That's what's on my mind. I can get back to saying things like, bring it in. Talk about the Folgers. Oh, pleasant sin. Yeah. So this is a test of the emergency Negro broadcasting system. This is Doug Rice. I'm the Doug Rice Show. Tune in. Make sure you didn't miss him. Whatever. This morning, I did do a very good 7-point show on all of the topics that I do. The global race war. Who do they think they are? Not the Negroes. I thought that was well put. Where are their gods? Because they're not afoot. In the midst of prophecy, the nations all conspired. The kingdom is coming, the show I certainly admired. I like this morning's show. This afternoon show is at noon today, my time. You can simply go take a look at it if you don't mind. Also, if you do look at this show daily, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, we are usually off all Sabbath until the evening. We may do a 6 p.m. show on Sabbath evening after the sun has set. And still and yet, just follow through. Every day you should lead with the kingdom in some way. That's what I'm doing. That's what I say. So I do again thank you for tuning into the show. Now, I did forget, but not just yet. I had some things I wanted to talk about. I should have said talk a bit, but I didn't. So here we have in the news, and I'm here to peruse. And a high school football coach alleges that he was ejected for confronting refs about racial slurs. Now, no, you're not going to be able to see it on this show. Not this evening. I want to see if I can just continue to banter. And usually you'll have the image you need, but I'm going to see if I can transfer it through Reed. A Pennsylvania high school coach says he was ejected from a playoff game after he confronted referees to voice concerns about racial slurs being repeatedly shouted by players on the opposing team. It did happen. It was in Pittsburgh. The coach said that he begged for them to stop saying the N-word. Yeah. Well, they kind of looked at him a little bit absurd, and then they kicked him out, and he flew out like a bird. I don't know. I think I can carry this without any need to just do it while I read. I'm just joking. What am I smoking? No, that's not bad reading. I don't mind that. I wish I could show you the pictures, but I forgot about the one fact that I could not show them on this platform because it's strictly YouTube. Oh, well. Did do an interesting search a while back. Racist incidents among whites rising. And hate crimes reached the highest level in more than a decade. And that was 2 years ago. Hate crimes, there were 7,759 reported hate crimes in the U.S. last year, and that's 2020. And the most in 12 years. So it doesn't matter the date of this reading. But some experts and advocacy groups say the true number is probably even higher. The number of recorded bias incidents reported by the FBI was the highest since 2008 when 7,783 hate crimes were reported to the agency. So what's on these people's minds that they have so many hate crimes? I mean, where are their cries and whines? What is it? I mean, good Lord. That's a lot of hate going on, and it's not coming from us. It's not going in the other direction. It really needs observing and our protection. But it's an incident that's reported by the FBI, and it seems to be it's them that always cries about what they ain't getting, what they ain't got. Let me tell you something, folks. They got a lot. All right, so the spike in 2020 follows a recent upward trend in bias incidents, and it was a 6% increase over 2019. So that's an interesting statistic, if you know what I mean. All right, now more. Let's see. Just want to see if there's more out there to read. 2020 forced Americans to confront the reality of racism. In 2021, many looked away. Wow. November 24th, the hour after Judge Timothy Walmsley read out the series of mostly guilty verdicts that could send 3 white men to prison for murdering Ahmaud Arbery. There's a lot happening around the Glenn County, Georgia courthouse where the trial had taken place, so it's perhaps unsurprising the quiet but essential moment went largely unnoticed. When the courtroom doors opened and Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, walked out, she crossed paths with Mona Hardin, mother of the late Ronald Green. In 2020, Cooper Jones was initially told that her son was killed during a burglary. In reality, he had been chased and shot dead in the street, and they lied about it. Ain't that neat? The year before, Hardin was told her son died after what Louisiana state troopers described as a high-speed chase by law enforcement and a crash. Later, video footage of the incident obtained by the Associated Press showed that while Green had been involved in a chase, he was then stunned, beaten, dragged by ankle shackles, and left moaning on the ground while officers wiped his blood from their bodies. Aren't they wonderful creatures, these police officers that have such adoring features? My goodness. They had to lie about that. That was a lot of shit. Good Lord. They did that, and that's it. Now, some of the troopers involved have since died, been arrested or fired in connection with other matters. Another, after brief suspension, remains on the job. Whoa! What a fat slob. Wow, he remains on the job. So what he did, remaining on the job, if I might point this out because I'm reading it, and that's no doubt, he said that the guy lied about, the guy on the job right now, he lied about stunning, beating, dragging by ankle shackles and leaving moaning someone off on the ground, a Negro, while he, along with other officers who have since been fired, died, or retired, wiped the blood off of from their bodies. So that officer, one of them, is still a police officer. Isn't that comforting to know that one officer is still on the force that has done that to Negroes? Well, of course, right? Wow, that was a good read. I like that one. Let's see what else we got. I don't know. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. No, it isn't. Anti-Semitism is not on the rise. I'll tell you what's on the rise. The truth is on the rise. That's what's on the rise. A lot of truth. A lot of truth, no explaining. A lot of truth, no explaining. I did a live, a few days ago about some guy that decided to say so that, you know, the nation that they call the state of Israel, those folks that, you know, the camp folks, you know, that do that drill, you know, they're the number one threat to Jews worldwide. And that accusation I can't abide. Now, he read off everything that, Bishop Nathaniel believes in. He wrote, and he did a wonderful job in writing it. The Weisenthal group, if memory serves, the Weisenthal group wrote an essay, a write-up on IUIC and ISUPK and these other folks that go about that way, and framed everything they had to say like they were deranged and they needed to go away. But he brought no proof of anything contrary. I like that. And so there it is, right there. No, seriously, I read through the entire thing. The best defense that he could bring was the claim that Jews in Israel are from Khazaria has been put down as a rumor and has been soundly disputed. Literally, I used many more words, very convoluted, but he just said, well, we debunked that theory about the Khazars and the Jews' conversion through King Bulan the Conquering by Prince of Ukraine and all the rest of the, vile and inane conduct. I mean, it's how have you disproven that? And that's where I got stuck. So that was an interesting read. Anti-Semitism is on the rise, and it's not just about ye. Well, let me see. An old kind of hate has been very visible lately. High-profile entertainers and athletes have openly spouted anti-Semitic tropes. Former President Donald Trump dined recently with an outspoken Holocaust denier. Beyond these headlines, there has also been a steady rise in the number of hate-filled incidents directed at Jewish people over the past several years. Now, according to the ADL, who I stay in constant contact with through Twitter, according to the ATL, 2021 was the highest year on record for documented reports of harassment, vandalism, and violence directed against Jews. But let me say this while I peruse. Despite 2021 being a record year for anti-Semitic trope and accusation and attack, they still couldn't beat the racist sentiment being exposed to folks that are Black. So they might as well just lean off and fall back. So you understand what that means? At the end of what I did read on that day, I'll tell you the end of what he did say, and he said this directly. And to me, it was, it was connectly associated with our circumstances. And right at the end of the reading, he didn't take any chances. He said, despite Jews being attacked with such fervor and passion, it still doesn't bring up how many Blacks are getting the lashing. They didn't read our stats. That's basically where he said that. So I tried that one. That was not bad. I think I'll be able to do this. And hey, I'm glad. Now, here's the reason I'm doing this test, so you guys don't start joking and jest. I want to make sure I can just read it and still do the thing that I need, so that, you guys can not be impeded by my reading. That's what kind of thought I'm seeding. Otherwise, I'd be involved in trying to maintain everything involved giving you the same frame and switching pictures, and it'd drive me insane. So I'd rather just try this kind of a practice run, and I'm going to keep doing it until I'm done. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Doug Rice Show. Looking up different news headlines, and thus and so. Trump's Veterans Day message draws comparisons to Hitler. I can't imagine how in parallel Trump is to Adolf Hitler, except to say this. I've studied World War II to some length. My father was a veteran of that era. He was in the Pacific Theater. But I was instructed to read as much as I could about everything that I could, and so I did, and as well as I should. And I see that Donald Trump would not be respected as a Nazi. No. Donald Trump would be clowned out of existence. He'd more likely show a little resistance and maybe even a little persistence, but eventually they'd rid themselves of him because they'd realize he wasn't one of them. He'd literally be excised from the Nazi party, and it would be interesting to see. Yeah, quite a parting shot. So that's about all I got on Donald Trump. His expressed anger at being compared to Adolf Hitler. He says that he expressed anger, but he has a copy of Mein Kampf up. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. He's got a copy of Mein Kampf. That's what he said. He's got a signed copy of Mein Kampf. That's a brag that's gone around Donald Trump. I'm just telling you. Okay. Said he's angry at being compared to Adolf Hitler, who would think him a buffoon and fool, but it's happening to him again. Maybe we can take him to school. After the ex-president's latest post honoring the Veterans Day holiday. Let's see what happens. On Saturday, Trump posted the following message to American veterans. In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, the Marxists, the fascists, and the radical left thugs. He says that now so flowingly. It just slides on like a glove. Isn't that nice? He does. He says that real nice. That live like vermin within the confines of our country, lie, steal, and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and the American dream. It sounds like he's self-reflecting, if you know what I mean. The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within, despite the hatred and anger of the radical left lunatics who want to destroy our country. We will make America great again. That's Donald Trump on Veterans Day. Wow. Now, how they said that media companies, the message struck some as familiar, echoes of Hitler nearly verbatim. Really? Okay, they're comparing what he said. So here is what Hitler said. The vermin must be destroyed. The Jews are sworn enemies at the end of this year. No, I don't think there's a comparison there. That's ridiculous. I think they're reaching quite well. You know what I think they're doing? I think they're preaching. And I'm going to tell you why and what's going to ruin this feature. What they're counting on is that people just read the headline. Trump's Veterans Day message draws comparisons to Hitler. I hate Trump. I hate Trump with a burning passion that can only be compared to the surface of the sun. For God's sake, if I saw Trump on the sidewalk in the opposite direction, I would run. That's not bad. I would. It's just nasty. He a nasty dude. It's no good. But despite all of my feelings about this dude, this headline leaves me reeling, as it should, because he has no comparison to Hitler in what he says. If you read it the way he reads it, he sounds like an idiot every time he says it. Even I can now, understand the gait and cadence of every time he says that verbatim nearly. So no, I know you want him to be Hitler so dearly, but he's too stupid. He's a buffoon. And maybe y'all learn that real soon. I like that one. Okay, that lands nice. All right, Mr. Rice, how y'all doing? You like this? I'm digging it. I'm just going through the motions here. I'm just trying to row the boat and get in gear. So bear with me, folks. Hey, I do have support edifices. And let me tell you the story while I'm here. So what I say it nearly every day. I got it print, I make sure to write it, and it's rent. And lately I've had some interesting financial woes. A lot of this and a few of those. Needless to say that some deposits haven't made it my way, and I've only got letters and promises to pay. But if you can understand what I say, do me a favor. Donate, give, support this effort so that it maintains its current level. I definitely don't like to snivel, but I'm in the doghouse. And so I'm asking and shouting out to my fellow family, the only family, Negro family that I associate so with. You can use the sharing edifices. I know that Latrina has already posted. Yes? Okay, I'm not even going to look. All right, let's continue. This is a test of the Emergency Negro broadcasting system. My name is Doug Rice. I am your host of the Doug Rice Show, just by happenstance, just so you know. And this is what's going on with me. Oh, for God's sake, look, just see. You can't see. Here we go. Why is Bank of America canceling accounts of religious organizations? I don't know, maybe even anti-religious organizations. Just because I said so. They're canceling a lot of accounts all over the place. They're canceling accounts that have nothing to do with the religious faith. And, we know who runs the banking institutions, and it's nobody that has my kind of face, nobody in my place, nobody in my space. Moving on, I'll just stop. Moving on. Things are getting wrong, just getting things wrong. Jim Acosta slams Trump for forgetting who's president. This is the threat, him. I don't think so. All right, continuing. Welcome again, Doug Rice Show. Greta Thunberg scolded by acknowledging Israel, Palestinians conflict on stage. Tell me something, because she's all the rage. How is it that this kid, despite her age, seems to be as if she's some kind of sage? I don't understand this. Is it because she's a slightly Nordic, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, kid? I mean, it's just I don't know what she did. Climate activist. That's right. I forgot. She cries when she talks a lot. Right. Okay. Briefly interrupted Sunday by a man who approached her on a stage after she invited a Palestinian and Afghan woman to speak at a climate protest in the Dutch capital. So the way the headline goes, they forwarded Israel against Palestine with a dash between it, if I could describe the way it looked. Greta Thunberg scolded by climate protester for acknowledging Israel-Palestine conflict on stage. No. What she did is she invited a Palestinian and an Afghan to speak at a climate protest. That's what she did. And naturally, they're going to talk about what associates themselves with themselves. And before you know it, hey, she had to show it. So again, folks, here's what I am reading as I read now and then. The headline doesn't really tell the tale. And if you don't read the story through, then you might fail to understand exactly how they assail your senses with half-truths as it commences. Oh, goodness, this is going to be fun. I think I can do this all day, not even put in a run. Yep, 6:24. I started at 6. I think I got more. Let's see. I don't know. More. Now, I'm reading from MSN. When I do this live again, you're going to see the picture then, okay? Don't get in your feelings. Here we go. The GOP civil war is apparently now cleaning out closets. What does that mean? Because they got a picture of a Matt Gaetz with his mouth gating open. Last week, Tim Miller, the gay bulwark writer who was communications director for Jeb Bush's campaign but left the GOP, tweeted out that Matt Gaetz appeared to be outing the GOP chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Congressman Jason Smith. I remember that. That happened some time ago. No, this is a recent story, 16 hours ago. What do you know? So you can watch the clip. Gaetz is extremely peeved that Smith attacked him for triggering the removal of. This is still going on. This is going on strong. They're consuming themselves. They are doing themselves in, and they are murderously self-congesting their kin. But neither side will ever win, and despite what you see, they're truly after you and me. Don't be deceived. Don't let what they show you be believed. Don't even allow it to be conceived. Let me tell you something, folks. The target is us. The target is Negroes eventually, and thus they'll come after those. They'll come after us. They will. This is all, a bait and switch. Soon they're going to scratch their itch. Oh, this is going to work out nicely. Please tell me if you do like what I'm doing. Again, this is just a test. I don't want to ruin the final product. I don't want to go beyond that. But, I just want to see how good this can get. Here we go. You're not the system. You're not the system. You're the problem. Wow. You're not the system. You're the problem. Mavs broadcaster pinpointed how thankless and brash James Harden has been over his career. Thankless? What? Wait, hold on. So you're a master of the obvious. You had nothing to write about 16 hours ago. You're like, what? Do you put these things together through AI? You have no collective creativity. I don't understand that. You're not the system. You're the problem. Mavs broadcaster pinpointed how thankless and brash. I don't think thankless has anything. White people tend to believe that black people must be thankful. At all times, we must be thanking them for their presence in our presence, for all the experiences that black people have had amongst them. And, every time you open up your mouth, particularly after one of them has lost their goddamned minds and decided to drive 2,200 miles to, kill black people on Saturday after writing a 200-page manifesto, when they do that and we tend to go a little crazy, that's when they start accusing us of being lazy. But this is kind of, another kind of left on that, the thankless cleft. Imagine that. When we talk about leaving, they try to invite us to the door. When we talk about what they're doing to us, they talk about even more. They talk about everything we discussed to the point that they're a bore. And right now, to me, in my mind, the point is sore. How thankless, how thankful do you want Negroes to be? Give me a gauge so that I can see just how large you want the gratitude to be. I don't get it. Do you know what you've done to Negroes? Do you know? I don't think most of these folks know. Even some that might be watching the show don't know what they've done to us. So, do they? I don't know. You're not the system. You're the problem. Mavs broadcaster pinpointed how thankless and brash James Harden has been over his career. Over his what? How many years has this man been doing this for? God-stopping amount of years. I don't know. He's a 2018 MVP. I don't know. Woo. Wow. 3-time scoring champ. I don't know. How do you become the best? By believing you're the best and forget the rest? I don't just. It just, to me, makes perfect sense. James Harden reported last night in Dallas. For me, individually, this is my 3rd game. I didn't have a training camp. I didn't have a preseason, so everything is still moving fast speed for me. I need about a 10-game window, then kind of see where I am from there. Oh, you don't like his just brash honesty, the brash honesty and the give a damn about what you think. That's the problem. It's the point in time that we design in our minds not to give a damn or even find a bit of interest in what they say. And we just look at them and tell them to go away. They don't like that. They don't like us listening to them. They don't like us not taking their advice. We didn't ask their advice. It's the advice we don't ask for they're most aptly to give. I just wonder why they don't just let Negroes live. I can do this all day. Yes, I can. Tell me if you think this can be done. Otherwise, I'll just get off the air and run. I think I can be somewhat eloquently. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, let's go in. I'm just looking through the news, just so you're knowing. Cracks on the road to Christian Dominion is the shadowy city elder. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm sorry. And now I understand you can curse on YouTube. So I'm going to enjoy that freedom. I'm not necessarily monetized. They took that privilege right from my eyes. They did. I won't talk about the war. The subject's incredibly sore. Who cares? We know that both are somehow involved, and the problem will never get solved. So let's move forward, move on. All right. I'll be on for a little bit longer. You guys can like, subscribe, share. It's there. Do it. Hey, another "you are the problem." That's interesting. You are the problem. Marjorie Taylor Greene trolled Mike Johnson, doesn't want to impeach Biden. But, they want to impeach this man. I do not believe that he would be conscious that he was being impeached. I think the end of the rope, Mr. Biden, he has reached. I don't think there's much more that he might be able to do, but I think he's not going to stop until he's completely through. I will commend him for that. I mean, he's a trooper. What are they propping him up? Look, he's being held together by duct tape and super glue. I mean, that's just the truth. How many people? 9, 8? I don't care. It's not that late. I'll just stay on and just drone on and on. I just need to know if I can keep going. That was good. Continuing, let's see if the news is refreshed. See what we got. Let's see, because they got a lot. Tensions simmer as LGBTQ plus. What's the plus? Neighborhood tries to oust annual lesbians who tech event. Now they're at war with one another. They won't relent. That's interesting. It's interesting. Residents of rural Mexican town are struggling to cope with migrant rush. And wow, there's a migrant rush. I understand another one that should be coming up from the south. Well, I don't know. Just shut my mouth. Who's organizing these things? Come on, man. Nobody's gonna. There's tens of thousands of these folks, and they bring everything they got with them. I can't imagine this is not something that's constructed and organized. I mean, it just seems kind of a predilection in my eyes. And why not just let them in? I don't care. Everybody's returning back to their own land. That's kind of been in the air, right? They're sending everybody back home. They're starting in the African nations. So there's no telling where everyone might end up in their station. I don't know. This is the Doug Rice Show. Thanks for tuning in. Brought to you by Twidware. If you wanted some Twidware, you're gonna win. Twidware.com is the place to get the most quality athletic gear and skincare, and it's a brand. Twid will bring anything he can because, as we know, on this show, there's just no telling where Twid might go. Man, that landed nicely. Are we recording this? Is this being recorded? I don't know. All right, what do we got? I can do this a lot, I think. What do you think? 24, 32 minutes, and I really don't have any show content in it. I'm just kind of winging it and seeing if I can bring it, right? No? Yes? No? Okay, let's see so. There isn't enough fascism in the GOP. Hey, don't listen to me. That's Steve Bannon said that. There isn't enough fascism in the GOP. Bannon explodes at the RNC. Hey, just listen to me. An RNC over Republican losses in Ohio, Kentucky, and Virginia. Do you see where this is going? I'm going to tell you, just so you're knowing. They're headed straight for a brick wall, moving at 9,000 miles an hour. And when they hit that brick wall, the impact will bring such power. And I will tell you this, this is something Negroes must choose to miss. We don't want to be here when these folks, come to fruition. I got to tell you, they're all on mission. There isn't enough fascism. Has anybody looked at Steve Bannon? Do you know how sickly and diseased this man is? Dear God. Former political advisor Steve Bannon, convicted criminal, pardoned by Trump. You think this country's not about to hit a bump? Unleashed his frustration on the Republican National Committee during a recent episode of his War Room podcast. The RNC bore the brunt of his criticism for the recent losses in the abortion vote in Ohio, the Kentucky governor's race, and the Virginia race. Bannon squarely pointed fingers at the RNC, holding them responsible for the inability to rally Trump's MAGA supporters to the voting booths. These white people are going to lose their goddamned minds. Let me just tell you, I've done the research, and I find it to be an absolute truth. If they don't win at the booth, wow, it's going to be ugly. It is. It's going to be real ugly. It's going to be fugly is what it's going to be. Opinion, new House Speaker Johnson shows MAGA cult controls the Republican Party. This is 15 hours ago. 15 hours ago. New House Speaker, this Johnson. Now, let me tell you something about Mike Johnson. When he got the speakership, what he did was he broke down in prayer. And he did it right on the floor, right there. That tells you the sinister nature of these white males. And they are headed straight for our destruction and without fail. That is an ominous scene. You guys know exactly what I mean. When a white man breaks out, just automatically in prayer, Well, let me just tell you, Negroes better think about getting out of there. That landed nicely too. Let's see what else I can do. Everybody okay? I'm just gonna kind of bring the show and just take it away. All right, just listen to what I gotta say. Next, white folks will be the minority in America in 2045. I'm just reading through the notes. I'm just reading through the news. This from the opinion by William Spivey from Level. White folks. He said white folks. I did not. White folks will be a minority in America, and that's all I've got. Just kidding. According to figures released by the U.S. Census Bureau, not only do white people represent a smaller share of the total population than in previous years, there are fewer white people, going from 197,845,666 in 2016 to 197,309,822 in 2019. Okay. It is anticipated that by the year 2045, white people will be a minority in America. Why are they losing their minds? Many white people are already starting to get scared as hell. I think I might have to read this well. I'm going to read this one. Here we go. According to figures released by the U.S. Census Bureau, those are the numbers from 197,845,666 in 2016 to 196,309,822 in 2019. That is a difference of anybody? No, forget it. Show me love. It is anticipated that they will be a minority by 2045. And it reads right here that white people are already scared as hell. Well, do tell. Are they scared? I know they are. They're terrified. By far. It is not as if white people have had a history in this country of treating other races well. Ooh, do tell. Let's go down the list, shall we? Okay, let's do it. The Japanese were interned. The Muslims were banned. Native Americans nearly wiped out, and their land was stolen. He almost stealing my job. Hispanics just recently had their children separated from them, and in some cases, permanently. And if that weren't enough, enslavement evolved into the Black Codes, which turned Jim Crow, that popped up again in new forms of voter suppression, housing, job discrimination, and discrepancies in healthcare. White people are worried that when they become the minority, they will be treated like they treated minorities when they were in control. Well, clutch my soul. Do they think that? That fear never gets old. Let me ask you, Negro, something. Let me ask you folks that this relates to. Let me just ask you this, because I'm moved to do so. Do you have retribution on your mind? Do you have payback? I don't. I find it something not to my purview, but we gonna see what our God will do. Now, look, as I said, I'm not looking forward to any retribution. I personally not looking forward to a reckoning administered by the creator of all things. I personally don't look forward to the gnashing of teeth, to the enslavement beneath. I don't take joy. I'm not looking forward to participating. In fact, I want to put it off as far as I can. That's just how much I'm abating. I'm not interested in seeing people suffer. I know that it could get a lot tougher, but despite my predilection, despite my indication of not being really a vengeful nation, I can't say the same for my God, because, he's a little bit odd. He got some vengeance in mind. And if I search just enough, I might even find what kind he's got in mind. It's not good. But I'd stop it if I could. I can't. Throughout history, there are just dozens of examples. Minority white nations controlling countries composed of people of color. They're rising from this present condition. So the solution, which they've already working on, is to maintain power even if they lose their majority. That is what they are planning. That is what Donald Trump is planning. The solution they feel in their wretched, backward, deceptive, stealing, lying, conniving, deadly, generally distasteful minds. I mean, and this is just what I find, is to maintain power even after they lose the majority. Now, what kind of people plan to do that? See, Negroes play fair. And there it is right there. There's no reason to stare. I said it. But what we've found in our relation to other kinds of nation is that they're not of that. They're not of that kind. They're not. They're out of their minds. Okay, so France was once the second largest colonial power behind Britain. And we can look over in Africa and see whose asses they're hitting. Yep, they still effectively control several African nations. They control their treasuries and demand ongoing payments for the infrastructure they helped build while raping the countries of their natural resources. Haiti won its freedom from French control during the Haitian Revolution, and they have never stopped paying for it. I need you to understand that Haitian Revolution over the French is what put them in the position they're in currently. I need you to understand that the Haitian people would be perpetually, downtroddenly, miserably poor, a third world country, and you have to juxtapose that to the Dominican Republic or other countries that were permitted to flourish. They made it their goal that Haiti would be as it is today. And so I understand why the Africans are sending the French on their way. Well, yeah. But was forced to compensate France for its loss of revenue and slaves. So the Haitians, when they won their freedom, the white people that negotiated terms after they whipped French ass out of their country, they determined that Haitians should compensate the French who enslaved them for their loss of revenue from them being slaves. Basically they wanted to buy them out. Fuck the blood that they put in the ground through trying to rid themselves of these European hounds. I mean, who in God's name wants these creatures around? I mean, what is the deal here? How do you feel? Okay, maybe that went too far. I don't know. The payments bankrupted Haiti while enriching France. So it was a plan, you can see. And now they did kind of use the same thing on the Nazis, didn't they? They made sure that Germany would pay for World War I, and that's why they came undone and created the Nazi Party, son. Okay, we're done. Not done. I can keep going. 6:43, and I'm still listening to me. Well, that's a pretty good article. I like that one. I dig that one. I can do this. I think I can do this. I think I can carry a conversation for as long as one needs to be carried in front of the Negro Nation. I think I can do this and hold my station. That's right. The Right Show all damn night. Wisconsin priest says the parable of the 10 bridesmaids is a warning to humanity. Let me just say this without any vanity. I will not accept a white face telling me anything about spirituality any longer. Stay your pale asses away from me. Don't talk to me about spirituality. See? Don't do that. Because first, I'm not interested and you got nothing to say. There's not a price that I'm not willing to pay just to make sure that you stay away. I mean that. I don't need to see a white face telling me about God. I find the whole thing incredibly odd. I do not want that situation, and I advise you keep it from the Negro Nation. Okay, so that's what happens when I get going. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, I don't need that. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me. In fact, keep your opinions about everything black to yourselves. Put it somewhere on a high shelf, somewhere we can't reach it. Okay? All right, very well. Go away. Yeah, that's really all I got for him. That's the energy. That's all I can see. That's all I can be. Yeah, that's just me. Putin ally chillingly outlines how Russia could kickstart horror nuclear war. Putin ally, he just casually mentions how he can just start a nuclear war. We know this, you vile, sadistically violent creatures that have started not one, not two, but 3 world wars. And look at black people as if they're the threat to your existence. That to me is like some vile insistence. That really is. You got to think about that. You ever thought about that? These pale beings have started world wars. They're threatening nuclear war. But generally, we're the threat against their existence. We're the people. You know, we're the ones that are showing resistance to their control over our soul, and they feel we're just going to roll right over them. They do. I mean, listen, folks, these folks are through. I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. It's a situation you can't ignore. That sun is shimmering above each one of them. And it looks like they're coming undone. Yeah, it looks like it's defragmenting them to their very core. And there's more to be said, a whole lot more. I mean, they're turning red. They're looking sore. I'm just going to stop. All right. I want. Anyway, yeah, they're on the way out of that. I have no doubt. They want to start a nuclear war. They actually they have a nuclear bomb. Now, I don't know who names the bombs. I'm sure it's, I don't know. But the first bomb they named was Satan. Now, these seem to be rational people. You want to scare the hell out of somebody, you name a bomb Satan, but you want to scare him more, name the next one Satan 2. I know that Satan's got to be a big bomb, but God, Satan 2? Yeah, they're through. I'll say it again. All right, let's see. 6:47. All right, I'm still moving. All right. I'm doing okay. Everybody feel okay? I'm not looking at chat. To heck with that. I can't. If I look over there, I'm gonna just start to stare. I'm gonna start reading. Mental's gonna get seeding. Yeah, you're good. It's not what I need. What do we got? Anything? Israeli minister admits that military is carrying out Nakba against Gaza. He admits this? Wait. This is 2 hours ago. Israeli minister admits military is carrying out Nakba against Gaza's Palestinians. Yeah, the Palestinians that sold Negroes into slavery to the very people that they are accusing of Nakbaing right now. Yeah, they commiserated together to sell us out of Palestine. It was called Judea before. Yeah, it was yours and mine. It wasn't theirs and thine. It was ours to find. I mean, I'm just telling you. You know, these people existed during the day of Yeshua. These Ashkenazi European converts existed during the day of the time of Jesus, the time they call an individual Jesus. These were the vipers. These were the Pharisees, the Sadducees. These were the workers of lawlessness. These were the European, and you've got to understand and be seeing that Jesus was a brother. Couldn't have been no other. It could have been. This white-black war has been something we haven't been able to ignore for centuries, for eons, for millennia. They're peons. An Israeli cabinet official has publicly admitted to the government's ethnic cleansing of Palestine, saying on television over the weekend that the country is rolling out the Gaza Nakba. Well, keep going, y'all. Listen, you know what? I just want to see how this ends for the Israelis. I don't think they're going to be able to make amends, the Israelis. I don't think they can no longer pretend, the Israelis. I can go on and on. I won't. But yeah, this isn't going to end for them. This will have what they will perceive as a temporary psychological fix. Yeah, I think this is going to be when they call the shots and say that's all they've got, and they call the war and they say no more. I think that's going to be the beginning of the Arab nations winning. It's when they put down their arms and say the arms are swinging no more. That's when these Arabs are going to do something they can't ignore. And then they're going to want more and more and more. And they're going to be fighting until they're sore. And I could go, no, okay, you know. All right, on Saturday, Secretary of Cabinet member of the Agriculture, Avi Dichter, set for television interview. Television, they got it live. Told them that that the country is rolling out the Gaza Nakba. You know, that Nakba, 1948, that's when Gaza residents were evacuating, in Gaza for the placement of Israeli settlers in their in their land they've been in for hundreds of, and the reason that the Israelis claimed the land is because they were here infecting our pure worship during the time of Jesus. Now they're going to stop right there. They're not going to talk about them flowing in from Khazaria after it had been conquered by the prince of Ukraine. You guys gotta, I can't even remember the name. Somebody's got to remember. Look up the name, the Prince of Ukraine, so you understand, you know what I'm saying. This is simple damn history, folks. There ain't no mystery, folks. These folks are not who they say they are. They're jokes. So the Prince of Ukraine conquered Khazaria, and all of those displaced European white people, descendants of Neanderthals from the Caucasus Mountains, all of them related to the very people that surround them, they all started seeping down south, started really running their mouth. And yes, they intermingled with the Palestinian singles, and you know, they did their thing, you know, and all things swang. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, at the time of this this European infection, they really had no connection, not really, with Judaism as it was then in that deism. Judaism and that deism. That's not bad. All right, let's see what's more here. So let's see what we got here. This is truth, folks. They claim this land. They claim it. They want to possess it. They say people fought over it, but they're not the people of the book. And like I said, all you got to do is take a look. All right, 6:52. I can do an hour. So stick with me. I think I can do an hour. I can do more than an hour. All right, I'm just looking down the news. One day you'll see it too, just not today. So shoot. How crying affects your body. And look at them. They've got a picture of some chick that's not a sister crying to elicit some sort of effect and response. I don't know. Who cares? I'm on one tonight. Here we go. Anything else? Let me get this right. I mean, they are really, really paranoid about these Republicans. I will tell you that. They are paranoid that Republicans are about to destroy their democracy. I call it a demonocracy. It's not that it needs to be destroyed, but it never really functioned for everyone in the first place. They are sounding the alarm over the destruction of a democracy that never existed in the first place. I think that's a bit, I think that's trifling. Ho, Hungary's PM, that prime minister in Hungary, right-wing white nationalist, says he doesn't want mini Gaza in Budapest. They're threatening war all over the world. He said that the Viktor Orban said this obviously today, 17 hours ago. What do you say? And this is about migration policies of Western Europe that he suggests led to terrorism, gang wars, and other Western. This is just a race war. This is about European white skin against Palestinian olive skin that reminds them too much of their original sin. You know, they can only go so far into the story involving both of them. They can't go any farther. Because if they go any further into the story, there's going to be a connection made to Negroes over here in America. And at that point, it's going to be all she wrote. So they keep telling half the story. It's like a joke. All right, conservatives win big in deep blue state. Where? Deep blue state. Indicated potential GOP at New York City is a deep blue state. I did not know that. Now I know. It's too late. All right, that's good. 6:54. The time I will not ignore. It's almost 7 o'clock. I've been on the air for about an hour. I think I can bring a little bit more power, but I don't want my voice to get sour. So I'm going to stop right there and end the show. And I do appreciate you turning into this test, setting aside all jokes and jest. This was just a test to see if I could be at my best. Yeah, baby. There we go. Landing there. And please let me know if this is a show that you would tune into on the daily. You know, the showism would flow, you know, it would be barely. You would barely feel all that I do in this short amount of time. I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough rhyme. All right, that's good. All right, guys, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. 7 o'clock in the evening. You guys have been wonderful. 11 of you in here. You're great. Again, if I could, I don't know. There's nobody here just listening to me and lending me your ear. All right, this is the Doug Rice Show. I gotta go. There's no music either. So, just again, a test show. All right, good night. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Sorry about that. It is Sunday night, and I want to end this show right. So, without any distraction, I can do the interaction probably without losing any traction. Tomorrow is Monday. You knew it would come one day. You knew. And here it is. Boom. All right. You're going to be going into the office. I'll probably be on the air. While you're about to go in, you'll have that 1,000-yard stare. But after listening to me, you'll have clarity and see that if you're going to go inside those public places, do me a favor, would you? Get that goddamn grin off your faces. Oh, yeah, that's a good, we'll land right there. Okay. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. See you in the morning. Bye-bye. Yes. Good show.